What is going on, 5'9 Gamers? My name is Joe Wags, and today I'll be your host for your favorite podcast, the Dokkan Battle Podcast. Our podcast is presented to you by 5'9 Gaming, your source for all things gaming, anime, and entertainment related. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things 5'9. Today's episode is number 82, Golden Warriors for a Golden Week. I will be hosting today as usual, but we have some great guests along with me. I cannot do this myself. So first, I am very happy to introduce the Master of Slime, and congrats on 3K on your channel. Ice Cold Joker, how you doing?
Good morning. Thank you, Joe. Good to be here, and it's always a good day when you watch Spy Family.
For sure.
We've gone back.
Negan, are you still with me? I haven't seen it yet.
No, I've started watching it. I literally only have today's episde to watch. So five episodes in, very much enjoying it. But yeah.
I'm the only one out of the loop. I did check out that Bubble anime on Netflix. That was pretty cool. So yeah, I watched something new at least, right? I haven't got the Spy Family yet, but we'll get there. All right. So next up we have the Super Battle Road King himself, the Master Ningen.
Yo, how's it going, everybody? Very happy to be here talking about Dokkan. Exciting things going on this week, so very happy.
Yeah, for sure. Up next, we have the fan of all things Ultimate Gohan, STR Tech, doesn't matter. Minato, how you doing?
I love Ultimate Gohan. It's pretty cool. Gaming. Also, I haven't seen Spy Family episode yet, but I will after the podcast.
Okay, so now Minato's with me, so there we go.
No, he's actually seen Spy Family, though. He's just not up to date on it.
Darn it. Okay.
No, I mean, and I read the manga, so.
Oh, jeez. All right, you guys
he's
are
double cheating.
Yeah, for sure. And then finally, just shout out to Vilify. He's producing behind the scenes. Thanks for what you're doing back there. So we are going to start off. We obviously have some pretty hype stuff. We got a new LR banner. So we are going to go ahead and start and just share how our summons went. So Ningen, start us off. How was this one for you? Was this an Int Vegeta banner for you, or was it a little bit better?
Yeah, you would think that this unit wasn't Int Vegeta. So
okay.
Did my collab with Minato. Make sure you guys check that out if you haven't seen it already. Obviously, one part on my channel, one part on his. We pulled a lot of LRs, but unfortunately, during the course of that video, I did not pull them. So, of course, like an idiot, I think I literally told Minato as well, after we were done summoning and we were sorting out, like, getting the videos ready and stuff. I was saying to him, I was like, this isn't a unit that you need to pull as a content creator, right? Because I've had to start trying to curb my instincts to just wail. And so I try and think a lot about do I need these units in terms of making content? So for example, AGL Trunks was a Dokkan Fest that I was potentially going to skip because even if I didn't pull him, because one of his leads is Android/Cell Saga, which is obviously an existing category, I could just use my Android/Cell Saga team and bring a Trunks as a friend. So obviously with this LR, their leader skill being Goku Family and Kamehameha, I didn't need to pull them, but then I stupidly decided to just keep summoning, and I eventually got a copy after 1,500 stones. So
mother.
Yeah, I checked out Garesh's summon video, and it took him that long to pull a single copy as well. So in good company, but I would much rather it not have taken that long. So
yeah, for sure. I'm sure a lot of people had that issue. Well, since you collabed, Minato, how did you do on your end?
Jeez.
Not so well. I mean, I got some stuff I could use, like, one or two LRs, right? But we
pulled a lot of LRs.
Yeah, we did get a lot of LRs, right? That's right. But the funny thing is that we both got the other Super Saiyan 2 Gohans before the new unit. I don't actually have them yet. I say yet because in the future I'll get them with coins or something, right? But it's I want to really go in badly because I love Gohan, right? Gohan's my favorite character, but I shouldn't because there's no more cells, right? And it's the MJP cell stones, dude. If you non-cell stones, if you know, they be punching your wall. Ow. But I also feel again, like Ningen said, it's not really a unit that I necessarily need, right? So, yeah. And especially considering I just been shafted recently, all these banners. So, Genshin Impact did me very wrong recently. And this banner, I'm just done. I'm no, gacha games suck.
Well, I mean, when you're pulling on Genshin Impact, that is the worst rates you can ever have. It's pretty much, you're going to pity on that game. It's if you get a 5-star out of pity, it's oh my gosh.
this is nothing really with Dokkan, but the weapon banners, they hurt. I lost the pity on that twice.
Yeah, and then you choose a path, but you got to pull like 2 before you can even get your pity. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like oh my goodness,
terrible. All right, Joker, bring us back. Joker, tell us you had some good summons here.
Yes, I guess I'm in limited company then. My slime games shafted me before I left for my work conference, so I was feeling real down about that. And then last night, I got back from said conference finally, was able to record, and I bought the ticket pack, which gave me 3 trash SSRs, so I was super pleased about that. And then 200 stones, and I got them on a Zeno with a Trunks and Mai flying in.
Nice.
So I don't have Cell or the STR Goku Gohan, but I've got the LR Tech Goku Gohan, so at least I came out of the celebration with something.
Yeah, for sure. So for me, and by the way, I'll just kind of plug a little bit, but we do have a relay summon over on 5.9 where I believe we all participated in that. So feel free to check that out, see how we did on our relays. On mine, I did 1,250 stones total. What?
I don't think that's out yet.
Oh, it's not out. It will be out. It's in the works. We have a relay summon coming. I know we're working on it. So there's relays coming. So on my channel, I did 1,250 stones. I got 2 physical LR trunks. It's frustrating when you get like unfeatured stuff more than once, but when you get the same LR more than once that you already have rainbowed, that was pretty frustrating. I got a God Goku and Hit, which to the average player is amazing, but I actually rainbowed mine already, so that's just an extra one. I got an LR Nappa I needed. I got an LR Tapion I needed. And I got a Jiroa 19. I got a Garlic Jr., which was pretty good. One of those old STR Gokus I didn't have rainbowed yet. But on my very, very last summon of my video, I actually got the new unit. So it was exactly 1,250 stones. I got them on the last multi of my video. So that was pretty clutch, pretty hype. Vilify says he wants to step in here for a quick second. Vilify, do you want to jump in and tell us some news?
Get him! Get him!
Yeah, I think angry mobs are coming for you right now, Vilify.
Did you get another copy on your multi? Oh God.
You never know, right? So with that being said, let's talk about just the banner in general. So I'll just kind of summarize this, but there is a new format to LR banners, which is like a lot better. So I'll get everyone's thoughts on that, but just so people understand, the way they used to be was you had just like the new LR, and then it was like 12 really bad or 11 other really bad unfeatured units. So they were 12 unit banners. Now they cut it down to 10 featured units. There's actually 3 LRs and a couple of pretty good banner units on there. So on this one, let's start with Minato. What are your thoughts on just the new banner format?
Again, when it came out with Goku and Piccolo's banner format, which is like the same thing.
Yep.
Excuse me. I think that it's really, really, really good that that there is this new banner format, just because specifically it just makes it's more consistent with what you're gonna get, right? If that makes sense. So sorry about that. It's very more consistent with what you're gonna get. The 3 LRs there, I feel like they also improve the quality of the featured units that are there as well, right? Like that, just a lot better. It's always gonna be better 10 over 12, right? And then having actual useful units.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's going to entice people because the old format, I think it was just much more skippable. And now it's going to be a lot more tempting for people to summon, right? Joker, what are your thoughts on the new banner format?
I mean, I like this new banner. It definitely raises the value of yellow coin banners because, as we all said, that yellow coin banners used to be absolute garbage. 11 crap units, and the new LR did not give you much hope in terms of summoning for them. But having 10 units, 3 of them are LRs, which, I mean, these 2 LRs that came with the new unit were kind of meh, but the LRs on like the previous Goku and Piccolo banner that JP had, they were actually pretty good. And so if they continue to put, decent number 2 and number 3 LRs on the banner to go alongside the new one, then I think that is much better for the game as a whole, and will probably end up making Dokkan more money because more people are going to spend on it because their chances are higher.
Yep, for sure. You would think that going from 10 to 12 isn't a big deal, but the probability odds go way up. I don't know the exact number, but it's huge, just knocking a couple of units off. Because now it's basically the same odds as like a Dokkan Fest LR banner, which is really good for these yellow coin LR banners. Ningen, do you have anything to add on this or anything that wasn't mentioned?
No, I just like I say, I agree with what's been said. Like the new format for the banner is obviously better. I mean, legendary summon banners have always been very bad in terms of more featured units and the fact that pretty much everything except the new LR is not something you want to pull. So, obviously, if you're a massive whale, you probably don't need the other two LRs either, but it is nice for other players. I did actually pull the final copy that I needed to Rainbow in Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Unfortunately, I did pull. I was is 3 of the tech ones and 2 of the int ones. So I pulled 5 featured LRs that were not
Oof.
the new LR before I
Yeah.
pulled my one copy of them. So that stings a little bit.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean the banner itself is obviously great. Like the featured units I think are really good, which makes a really nice change for a legendary summon banner. The fact that it has Heart Virus Goku, Second Form Cell, and 19 and Jiro, who are all like top tier side banner units, is actually crazy good. So very impressed with that.
Yeah, I think this format is great because like for me, like I've been sitting on like 300 yellow coins for like a couple of years, and it's like I kind of want to buy an LR, but I need 500 coins. Just literally have not been tempted to summon. Now I finally was able to go in on a banner, and I've got enough coins now that I'm gonna buy something. I gotta figure out what I want to buy, but that's kind of nice that they actually made the banners. They realized that there was just like no incentive to summon on these banners, so I think that that was helpful. So we'll jump into whether we think people should summon or skip, and I'll just summarize the banner in general. So we've obviously got the new unit on there, and then we've got the two LR Gohans, the tech one and the int one. The int one to me is almost a dead unit because they've easy 8 and they honestly aren't like crazy impressive, but the tech one can still hit pretty good numbers like offensively, and they will easy at some point. So I think the tech one could be a nice pickup for people. And then the notable, they put some really good notable banner units. So normally they just put garbage banner units on these, but Heart Virus Goku, Second Form Cell, and then the Zero and 19 to me are like the really notable ones. And they were super smart about this because on that AGL Cell team, like Zero and 19 and Second Form Cells are almost staples on there. So I could see people picking up that AGL Cell and then being like, oh, I really want those. And people almost summoning on this banner to try to pick them up. Maybe even more so than some of the LRs, right? So Joker, what do you think? Should people summon on this or should they skip it?
Uh, we're 2 months away from the 7th anniversary on Global. And we are already getting like the Dragon Ore stuff in the news. We're already getting the lead up to the anniversary. So I don't think this unit is better than the 7-year anniversary units. And obviously they're going to come back, and maybe they'll be in the unfeatured pool when the part 2 LRs drop for the anniversary. So I don't really think you need to summon for them, especially if you have the new STR Goku Gohan. I think they're probably a more reliable unit. So I don't think you should summon for it.
Okay, Ningen, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, like again, from a global perspective, with the anniversary right around the corner, there's not many things that you should be summoning on really before the anniversary, and legendary summon banners are definitely not one of them for a start. So the Cell and Gohan dual Dokkan Fest was definitely hard to resist, especially with the fact that when it first came out it had the discounted steps and 3+1. So I definitely would have said that just even if you were just doing the discounted rotations, that would be worth it. But for global players, you probably do want to keep your eyes on the prize, which is of course the anniversary. As we're now what, halfway through May, so we've got like a month and a half until the anniversary starts. So it's not a huge amount of time to recoup your lost stones. So yeah, I don't know. When it comes to legendary summon banners, I really like the unit. Obviously, I know we're going to talk about them in more detail, but like as much as they are great, it's not just the fact that the 7-year LRs are probably better for sure, but their banners are so much better than
Yeah.
summoning on a legendary summon banner. So
7 LRs or something?
Yeah, it's like, well, the Super Saiyan 4's one alone has like 3 LRs that are getting easy A's during the anniversary. And of
Yeah.
course, those banners also have 3+1. And of course, for Global, we'll have tickets and all sorts of other crazy stuff. So that's definitely what you want to be saving for. These guys will be on every legendary summon banner going forwards and will be available with yellow coins in the future. So as cool as they are, I would definitely not recommend summoning unless you are like just a massive whale. So.
Yeah, my take as a global player, and then we'll go to Minato next as a JP player. But like to me, this is very much a luxury unit, as most yellow coin LRs are. So only if you're someone that's willing to spend on the game and you have the extra resources to do it. But I would say if you're a free to play player or even a newer player, right now you need to prioritize those 200% leader skills because that's really the core of team building now. So I would say if you have stones and you don't have the STR Goku and Cell, you're better off putting into that or saving for anniversary because those anniversary banners are whack. Like the value is so high on those that you really can't get shafted because even if you don't get the new unit, you're gonna pull some other secondary LR or leader that you're gonna be able to use and make really good use out of, right? So Minato, from a JP perspective, Minato, should people be summoning on this or what should JP players be doing?
It's not a bad idea to throw like 3 multis at it if you really want, because the banner's not bad to summon on. Again, there's like Juro 19, Heart Virus Goku, right? There's some pretty solid units on the banner. But I would say overall, again, anniversary is upcoming. We have even Ginyu upcoming eventually. Ginyu is really, really strong for like Red Zone, for example, right?
Yep.
And his banner might have like guaranteed steps or something like that, like how
Probably
Tech
will,
Catholic
yeah.
did, right?
They got a
There's
betas.
yeah, right. I personally think Raditz would be next on global though, right? I think Raditz has a really high possibility too. So that's something to think about too.
Oh,
right?
that would be
Maybe you just
great.
don't care.
That would be great.
Such an easy skip.
Exactly, right? And then you could have leeway to summon now. But this banner goes up until the 31st. I feel like the next Dokkan Fest, at least on JP, the next Dokkan Fest we could see announced or out before then. I would say the next Dokkan Fest could even be on like the 27th or something like that, right? So we'll have to wait and see for JP. That's for JP specifically, right? For global, again, I think anniversary banners like the Super Saiyan 4 banners is like the most like absurd banner ever to exist, right? And the Gods banner is still pretty good too. Just I think the Super Saiyan 4 banner is absurd, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to keep in mind there's the I forgot, was it 250 stones? I think the guaranteed LR banner,
That's
like the
300,
3 guaranteed
isn't
LR
it?
banners.
3 guaranteed
Yeah,
dollars.
exactly, like 300, something like that, right? It's a lot of stones, right? So that's something you have to also consider saving for because 3 guaranteed LRs and then 77 units is a lot.
One thing I did want to say, I didn't want to interrupt you guys before we got into Minato talking about the JP side, but one thing I will say, and this is, I'm not saying you should do this. This could definitely be a controversial take, I guess. But if you really, really want the LR and you're, obviously the 7-year LRs are the 2 best units in the game when they come out, but not everyone's necessarily a fan. I know some people like to summon for characters that they like more so than who's the best unit in the game. One thing that I will say from a global player perspective, if you've pulled the STR Goku and Gohan, and then you do pull this new LR, you do not need the 7-year LRs to beat all of the red zone. So if you want them, you could go for them at the cost of not getting the 7-year LRs, and then you would still be able to beat all of the content that releases during the anniversary. But obviously, as standalone units, the anniversary LRs are better, the banner is better. But that is something to bear in mind. Like if you've already pulled Goku and Gohan and Cell, you're probably already set in terms of actually beating all of the anniversary content. So I don't know, some food for thought, I guess.
Yeah, I think it comes up every week, but we just got to keep reminding people of this global W that we're going to have so many teams to fight Red Zone that JP didn't have, and it's just going to seem so much easier for us. But yeah, a lot of you might already have what you need to beat it, and if you really like, so my take on it was I got crazy lucky. We talked about it before in the podcast, but I rainbowed Cell and the STR Goku Gohan very quickly. But since I rainbowed that STR Goku Gohan, I've made that like a focus team for me. It's like one of my favorite teams. And I really wanted a copy of this guy to throw on the team. We'll probably talk about it in a minute here when we get into it. But I think the new LR with the STR Goku Gohan could be the best rotation in the game or like in the discussion. And I think they're just in the thing that I really like about them is they just have like the crazy best link set, like that really common link set that so many units link with. So we'll use that as a lead in. So let's talk about these guys. We've got the new tech Goku and Gohan. Now here's the thing. I want to kind of call out all these people complaining on Twitter like, oh, another Goku, another Gohan, whatever. Realistically, you guys, this is the first ever card with this name in the game. This is a joint forces Goku and Gohan. All the other Goku and Gohans are exchange units, so they have the backslash, they have a different name. So this is a never before named unit in the game. So I'm going to call you out and say this is a brand new unit, not very commonly released in the game, and they are really, 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 really good. I kind of want to get our impressions before we talk about if we think they're the best yellow coin LR. I think as a base, let's kind of talk about what our thoughts are, and then I'm reversing our outline here a little bit, but I want to get our impressions first. So Ningen, I'm sure you've done your showcase. I think I saw you posted it. What is your initial impression? I think you've got them at 55%, correct?
Yeah, so yeah, I've only got the one copy. It took me way too many stones, so obviously I'm not going to do any more on the banner as much as I would love to get a dupe or two. But yeah, at 55%, they are actually ridiculous. I get the same feeling from using them as like seeing people's initial reactions to using the 7-year LRs at 55%. Not to like, you know, make a strict comparison and start like ranking them against each other, but like they just feel so ridiculously powerful even at 55%. It is ridiculous. Like, slot, obviously they are a slot 2 unit, and we'll get into obviously more of the details. I know people don't like the fact that we keep constantly getting units that are super good that can only really be used in slot 2. But like even at 55%, if you pick up like 6 orbs, which is not super unrealistic for, or let's go with 5, because I think that happened quite a few times during my showcase. It's a very realistic number of orbs that you're going to pick up if you're not bringing orb changes or using items. Even with like 5 orbs picked up, linked up with the STR Goku and Gohan, they're putting out like almost 7 million attack. And then, of course, if you get 20 key, they get a guaranteed additional super attack. And then because of all the defense raising that they do with the various parts of their passive and obviously the defense raises they get from actually doing the super attacks, they're close to, if not over, like 450k defense. And this is at 55%. Like, it's one of those things I just kept like mentioning it during my video. It's like every time you see the numbers come up, it's like, oh, they're doing this, 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 and this. And they're 55%. And I think mine were like mostly level 5 or 6 links, because I went pretty ham. As soon as I awakened them into an LR, I was link leveling them for like the whole day until I got home from work and then did the showcase. So imagine them rainbow level 10 links. I mean, it's just ridiculous that they're that good at 55%. So I'm very, very impressed with them.
Yeah, Ningen, I'll piggyback off of you and just give my quick synopsis, and then we'll move on to the other two. But what you say rings true, because I ran mine at 55%, and the comment I made in my video is at 55%, they actually feel like a rainbowed unit. Like if you told me that these were the numbers at Rainbow, I could have believed you and said, yeah, that's a really good unit. And it's because they've got so much baked into their kit where they get crit chance on orb, they get guaranteed additionals, like they're doing all the things you want from hidden potential, and they're getting it for free, which just makes them seem so powerful. And depending on how many orbs, you can even see like 8 mil attack stats with these guys. And then like you said, like 400 plus K defense after supering, like they are busted at 55%. So the one thing I will say in terms of summoning for the unit, they are a very high value unit at 55% if you can just get one copy of them. Joker, what are your impressions on this unit? Have you had a chance to use them much?
Yeah, I was able to take them for a test run late last night after I pulled them, and they were pure like just awakened level 1 links. I had to use a friend STR Goku and Gohan, but linked up, they got 6 links together, and then I found out that the Fizz Future Gohan EZA has 5 links, which isn't bad. Then he can definitely, pertain as a slot 1 unit once he gets his full damage reduction up. But then I ran him with the Xeno Goku and then the GT Goku for orb changing. And yes, Ningen said 7 million attack stats, easy, out of the gate with not too much effort. And then, it's not hard to get over 20 key since they get that, Gohan 1 key per orb. So you're guaranteed almost always an additional super attack, which I think mine was hitting around 3.5. And then I had some decent bronze and silver orbs put in too, so they got a triple super attack of another 3.4, of which all 3 of them were crits. And so it's just like the damage output at 55% level 1 links was over 10 million. And then their defense after triple supering was like, 450, 500k, because I got a lot of orbs and they got all 3 of their defense procs along with their passive. So I took them into SBR and they were tanking double digits type neutral. ESBR, same thing. Vegeta event was laughable because he just massacred Evolution Blue Vegeta's health bar. The active skill, it's kind of iffy on whether or not you're going to get that. I mean, there are times where you're going to, and there are times where you're not going to. I think that would be my only complaint about them. But you don't really need it because they have so much crit chance already. So I think they're a great unit.
Yeah, they're a unit that I would go, I don't know, maybe all in additional, or they're a unit you could probably throw dodge in because they've got everything else built in. I mean, there's different ways you can build them, have fun with it, but I really don't think they need crit because if you grab 10 orbs, they're 50% chance to crit right there. But I mean, I think there are a lot of ways you could build them, right? Minato as a JP player, how do you see this unit? Because you kind of got a different environment there on JP.
They're really good. Just very, very powerful. Very good at 55%. Obviously going to be a slightly powerful Rainbow. Obviously the 7-year LRs are better, right? But if you're going to make direct comparisons like that, in my opinion, I haven't had the chance personally to try the unit, but I've seen lots of gameplay on them and stuff like that. I would say I actually have an issue with them, though. I think that I don't like that. Well, I don't like how they necessarily work with the Goku/Gohan. Because the Goku/Gohan is a unit that wants to stall and then get their active skill and then get hit a lot. But the LR does so much damage that it's not really consistent to get that in difficult content like the red zone.
Yep.
So because of that, like, I just think they messed up with the exchange conditions. Like, I think they obviously the unit itself is powerful, so I'm not gonna necessarily say they messed up with the unit themselves. But I would have preferred if they were more defensive based over offensively based, right? So like, guard, damage reduction, dodge, stuff like that, I think would have been preferred in my opinion. But I think obviously just not counting that, they're absurdly powerful and they're just pretty good, right? Not much else to say. I'm pretty sure everyone pretty much covered it really well, so that's all I have to add.
Okay. And then Minato, while I got you, we'll jump back to the other question. And from a JP perspective, where would you rank them among yellow coin LRs? Are they the best, or would you rank someone higher than them?
See, the thing about saying like the best a lot of times is that it's very hard for a unit to be the best because there's so many different situations and the game has gotten a lot more, I wouldn't say complex, but like, there's like all these different like situations and stuff like that. Like even your typing can decide whether or not you're the best unit. And considering like, for example, they're tech units, so they're not gonna probably fare that well against Red Zone Omega even then, right? I still think that if you want to say they're the best one, it's fine, right? I think they're very powerful, and again, since I haven't used them myself, I don't want to 100% say what I personally think because I haven't really had the time to try them.
Sure.
But I could definitely see the argument for them being the best, right? There's just a lot of good yellow coin LRs, I feel like now.
Yeah, I agree with your comment on like ranking units as the best. And I've said this before. The game is complex enough that every unit has a different role somewhere else. So to always be putting these units next to each other isn't really fair because one unit could be better in a different situation than the other. So I kind of like to rank them on tiers, So I would say, to me, I would say this is in the top tier of yellow coin LRs, but you could put them next to, say, God, Goku, and Hit or something like that, right? Ningen, what are your thoughts on ranking this unit among yellow coin LRs?
I agree because Minato and I have had this discussion before when it comes to things like rankings and tier lists and stuff. Like the fact that I think it's much better to put units in tiers rather than to rank them in like a top 10, just because events make such a huge difference. Like certain units are way better in Super Battle Road than they are in like long events. So I think it's hard to say. I think in terms of global and what is available at the moment, they definitely are one of the best yellow coin LRs, especially because of things like their link set, the teams that they're on, stuff like that. I think that, like I said, the biggest drawback to them is the fact that they really are just a slot 2 unit, and a lot of teams are crying out for more really good slot 1 units. But yeah, I would say based on like the teams they're on, the links and stuff like that, I think they are definitely one of, if not the best,
I
yellow
think
coin LRs on global.
my comment on that is that I think that the team you're going to run them on, the Goku family Android Soul Saga team, that team has a lot of slot 1 units already. Tech Gohan, it has even Ajo Gohan when he's built up his defense, the Pulse Exchange Super Saiyan Gohan, Physical Future Gohan. There's
I'm
a lot
talking
of
like turn 1 though.
yeah, but the thing is Tech Gohan is a slot 1 turn 1, right? And the thing is that again, like I said, that's the issue with this unit. Kind of, it's that the blow through events, but that team wants to kind of slow down, right? It's something else I was thinking, but I don't think it's an issue that they're necessarily not a slot 1 unit, because that team does have a lot of slot 1 units, right? That even with them blowing through the event in red zone, you'll be able to build up those units, just not as effectively, right?
Sure. Joker, do you have any thoughts on ranking this unit?
I mean, I'll just play devil's advocate and I'll give them a rank. I think they're probably hovering around like number 5 on global side right now. On JP, I think they're still in top 10, but probably maybe number 10, just because they have more units to play with, and red zone is always a thing. But I get that they are a slot 2 unit, like Minato is arguing right here, that the team, he does rely on it, and the STR Goku Gohan wants to, sit there and tank it, and then bring out Gohan, who can now be your slot 1 unit, but again, that's not going to be for a couple turns. And this new LR is going to blast through events with ease almost. So I think that does kind of hold them back. Heartbreaker's Goku is a very good slot 1 unit, though. I don't actually know how many links they share, but I'm sure they do just fine. One thing that I do think that puts them up there is their leader skill, though. Like Goku family Kamehameha 150%. It's like I like the new LR format of leader skills being 4 key 150. It brings them into a much better line with current meta difficulty, and Goku family Kamehameha is gigantic. So
yeah, I'm glad they're doing away with the 130s, because I was getting tired of that.
Yeah, so I don't think that's going to hold them back at all, but being a slot 2 unit again is one of many part of all slot 2 units.
Yeah, I think it all comes down to team building, right? Like if you have a goal in mind of how you want your team to run, you include them on there, or you don't, or you build the team a certain way. They're just another fun toy you can have for team building, but I think we all agree they are ridiculously good, right? So we'll move on to the next topic. So this is one of those what if units, right? So this is Dokkan exclusive animations, kind of unique situation. So I guess we want everyone's thoughts on how will this affect maybe the future of Dokkan? Does it like kind of expand the lifespan of it? Does it give them more freedom to make new units? So Joker, do you have any thoughts on this whole idea of what if units and what it does for the game?
Oh, it's great. It's essentially taking whatever Heroes originally started with and then expanding on it even more, because Heroes is obviously this like the power fantasy of Dragon Ball, of which you get ridiculous forms and ridiculous fusions. And so now if they're going to start implementing custom animations at this kind of level, it's going to open up a world of new possibilities for putting random people together that probably shouldn't be together, which is probably going to hurt their team building, but it's still going to be pretty awesome when you get, I think I said in a couple podcasts ago, like Z Broly and Super Broly together in one card or something. So I'm all for it.
Ningen, as a Dragon Ball Heroes fan, do you like this as well?
Yeah, so this is the one thing that I wanted to say to like for people to definitely to like temper their expectations, because they're obviously not going to do like Z Broly and Super Broly together unless it's something like a Heroes celebration, because obviously there's no way for those two characters to exist at the same time. So I think we could potentially see more stuff like this, and that is really exciting, but we're not going to get like really wacky combinations of characters, because it seems like they do save all of that stuff specifically for Heroes. Because obviously this is taken from almost just like an alternate timeline of the Cell games, but the only thing that has really changed is the fact that Goku's not dead.
Yeah.
and obviously like the way Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2 is slightly different, but that's basically it. And other than that, it's still the same timeline, like the same universe kind of thing. So we're not going to see, like, I saw someone post a really cool one, which would be great as like a heroes unit from, I think it's one of the cutscenes from one of the later Xenoverse 2 DLCs where it's like future Gohan and Super Saiyan Blue Goku doing the Father Son Kamehameha, which is pretty awesome. But again, I feel like that's something that we would probably only ever see when it comes to heroes. But there's definitely a lot of stuff they could do, which I think would be very interesting. But I don't think it's going to lead to really sort of wacky combos. But I
Ningen,
guess
why
you
you gotta
never
do me
know.
like that?
So, well, I mean, I would love to see it, but I don't feel like realistically it's going to happen.
Yeah,
but
I
mean,
kind of, yeah, go ahead.
well, I was thinking back to it a little bit. Is in a way, technically, they have done this before, sort of, right? Because there's got to be at least one or two. But the LR Frieza and King Cold, if I can remember rightly, I should have rewatched the episode before bringing this up, but I'm pretty sure they don't really do a lot before Trunks shows up. So, like, the fact that they're a unit in the game that have super attacks where they're attacking together and doing like death beams and stuff, that didn't happen in the show. So, I guess technically they have done this kind of thing before, but just not to this extent. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, like to temper expectations, because the really outlandish stuff I think will be for heroes. The stuff Dokkan does, it's more like from stuff that's canon, but it's just like, what if it had happened a little bit differently? So an example I could think of that would be realistic is, what if Majin Vegeta doesn't do the final explosion and then he teams up with Super Saiyan 2 Goku and they have a dual card of Majin Vegeta Super Saiyan 2 Goku fighting Buu? Like, to me, something like that would be like a realistic what if card that would actually be pretty
awesome.
fire. That would be pretty fire, right? Minato, what are your thoughts on the whole what if situation?
I think it's cool. I think they should do more like that. I think that animations are fine. Just because I'm like, oh my god, they're not exactly like the 1-2-1 anime. Oh, that sucks. I don't care. They look good enough to me.
Tell 'em.
Man.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly. All right, well, let's move on. So finally, with this new tech, Goku and Gohan, what would you change about them? And I know, Minato, you were saying that you kind of had some flaws with them. Is there anything you wanted to add on to that, or did you kind of cover everything you wanted to change?
I mean, I think they're good. As a unit, they're very well designed, right? I think that the issue is less with them and the issue is more with the Goku and Gohan, their exchange condition. It just doesn't work with what that unit wants to do. That unit, again, wants to blow through events, and the Goku/Gohan want to actually like take their time, and then both end up being slot 2 units until you exchange with them. So that's a wonky rotation, right? But the LR itself is very powerful, and I wouldn't necessarily say, oh wow, like there's stuff I would want to change about them. Though I'd say, because the thing is that like the thing I would change about them is switch their entire design up. But I'm not saying they're a bad unit, if that makes sense, right?
Sure.
Like I would have preferred for them to be like a defensive guarding unit or something like that, you know, stacking defense or something like that, right? But they're not, and their design is still very powerful. They're not a bad unit at all. They're very, very good. Is that
Sure.
a weird thing to say? Like I would change their whole design, but their design currently is
They're
very,
fine,
very
but I
good.
hate them.
Yeah, no, I know,
Yeah,
I know what you mean. Is their design is fine, but it seems like what they were designed for and like the team that they're designed to go on, they don't fit
Match up
into.
well.
Yeah, because
Right.
the leader of that team is a unit that also wants to be in slot 2.
Like,
But yeah, they could literally. They don't have to change their whole kit. But like, imagine if they just made it so that the 5% attack and defense and chance to crit is if they're in slot 2, and then they have guard or not even, they don't even have to have guard, but it's like 10% defense per orb instead if they're in
or
slot
damage
1 or
reduction
something.
too, right?
Or
Like-
yeah, like make it defense and damage reduction if they're in slot 1, and then if they're in slot
mean-
2, it's attack, defense, and crit chance, but like a slightly lower amount. Because
Yeah,
then,
that'd be cool,
then they'd be
right?
great in slot 1, or still a ridiculous powerhouse in slot 2.
Like the thing is that when they get a team that wants to, like an actual 200% leader skill team that wants to actually disperse through events, right? Like in the future, then they'll be really good for that team, obviously, right? But this team that wants to be stalling and defensive based, right? Like, you know, 20, 25 turns into an event, like red zone, like that, right? Then they're not necessarily the best pick, if that makes sense, right? But they're so very strong.
Sure. Joker, anything you would change on the unit?
The only thing I'm not truly a fan of is their active skill condition, because it's a triple limiter. One enemy, 59% HP or less on him, 5th turn, and I think I need some clarification here. Is it still one enemy when HP is
No.
58% or more from 7th turn, or is it just their HP?
Yeah.
I mean, what I would say is that by the time you get to like turn 5 and 7, there's usually only one enemy, right? So that's something to consider. And then from there, it's just basically the year 7 LR's active skill, which is, in my experience, I found very strong for red zone.
Fair. Sorry, I don't have red zone. Global L.
Yeah, global
It's
L,
coming soon.
for
It's
sure.
coming soon, right? Yeah, for me, if I just want to be a greedy person, I would say give him some orb changing with maybe some condition.
Oh,
but like,
God.
yeah, you give them orb changing. That's the only thing I would change. But I think they're perfectly a fine unit. They're fantastic. And yeah, go
Oh
ahead.
God.
You know who's a really good slot 1 unit for them? Tech God Goku.
Well, yeah, because
Like,
the
in
orb
the red
changes
zone.
it. Yeah, for sure.
They share 4 links as well. Saiyan Warrior Race, Super Saiyan, Prepare for Battle, and Fierce Battle. The 4 links they share, right? And he orb changes for them, right? So like,
Yeah, there you go. Problem solved. You fixed the unit right there.
yeah, amazing. Let's go.
It's all about the team build, right? And that's the thing. It's like you build the team right or have the right units. I can't wait for us to get them, by the way. It feels like that unit's been out forever and everyone's just like, Tech God Goku's like the best banner unit. And it's like, when are we going to get him? And it's like, yeah.
He's a top 10 unit in the game, buddy. He's better than full power Frieza. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Arguably the best rotation in the game, or I would say the second best rotation in the game probably is Tech God Goku and the LR Gods, because
Yeah.
right.
Right, for sure. All right, well, let's move on to some predictions here. So we have gotten confirmation that Physical Cell is the unit that is getting the EZAs, the EZA. So I'm just going to open this up to whoever wants to make a prediction. Some of you maybe have thought about it, some of you maybe not as much, but is there anyone ready to make a prediction on what you'd like to see on this EZA on Physical Cell?
I want orb changing. For example, say full Android category rotation, he creates rainbow orbs. That would be really cool, right? I think that'd be really good for the AGL cell and the int cells, and then the tech androids as well could really be helpful with that. I think having that rainbow orb changing could be nice. Other than that, maybe like a chance to do an additional or something, and then that'd be fine for me.
Okay. Anyone else have a prediction?
Not necessarily a prediction of what he will be like, but what I would like to see is if they make him ridiculously good in slot 1, then the Cell team becomes like the best team on global probably, because the AGL Cell is obviously an absolute monster even at 55%. The only problem is he's not super good in slot 1 in terms of like taking a super or whatever. But once he's super attacked, his defense is incredibly high. And that's his biggest problem on his team at the moment, is that he doesn't have a lot of great slot 1 options if you want to be running like the Cell and the Friend Leader on like both on main rotations. So if they make him good in slot 1, that team becomes absolutely ridiculous.
For sure. Joker, do you have any thoughts on what you want to see?
I was gonna say let's make him a slot 1 unit, give him some like damage reduction on top of his 12 key, giving him a little bit higher heal. That way you can set up and protect the new AGL cell in slot 2 and let him just run wild, and this cell will keep you healed while still doing ridiculous amounts of damage, because they're going to give him a lot to his passive skill, hopefully
Yeah.
being the keyword.
In the way he's designed, right? So if you're facing multiple enemies, you kind of want to go for the 12 key because that's his AoE. And then if you're facing one enemy, you want to get the 18 key. So what I would hope for is something where put something in his kit, because he already has where he gets more attack based on how many enemies are out. I would like to see if there's only one enemy that maybe he gets like 5 key to help you get the 18 key super, or he gets like a guaranteed additional. If there's multiple enemies, it would be really cool if you got like a guaranteed additional, so that you could do an 18 key to one target really hard, the guaranteed additional go off, and then AoE. I think something like that could be really cool, but his kit is so basic that he's one of those units that it's just really hard to predict, right?
Yeah, they can do anything with him at this point.
Yeah. So a lot of people were thinking that they were maybe going to EZA the AGL Gohan and Int Cell from the 300 million download celebration. I definitely didn't think that was going to happen, but I wouldn't have been surprised had they done it, just because they've done some wacky EZAs. But What are your guys' thoughts? Are you disappointed with this pick? How do you feel about Cell being chosen? Ningen, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on this being the selected EZA?
I think this is the right choice because it's what the Cell team needs. Like, if I had thought about it before the release of the LR Goku and Gohan, then obviously it would have been awesome to have gotten the EZAs for AGL Gohan and Int Cell, because assumingly they would do both of them if they were going to do one, right? Because then that would be something nice to help out both teams. But obviously now with the Goku and Gohan team getting this new LR, then Physical Cell is obviously the perfect choice, because then it's another big buff for Cell's team. Because he's, I think, the best link partner for AGL Cell. But obviously currently in the meta, even with the events we have on Global, not even talking about the Red Zone, like, he's pretty much unusable in difficult content. Because even in extreme Super Battle Road stages, like, he takes a lot of damage. So yeah, he is, I think, the right pick, considering we just got a crazy good LR for the other team. So I think that is good.
Joker, how are you feeling about this pick?
Yeah, talking about tempered expectations. I kind of am sensing a pattern here. I know that we've only had like 2 sample sizes, but the last download celebration, they EZA'd the download celebration units. And then for the 7th year anniversary, they EZA'd anniversary units. And so I'm pretty confident in saying that they're going to kind of keep to that kind of wave, and maybe we'll see Gohan and Cell EZA for this year's worldwide celebration, if not next year's. But I don't think now would be the right time to EZA them. And even if they did EZA them right now, I think they would have been power crept out probably pretty quickly. So I'm kind of glad they held on to them. Fizz Cell is a perfect use because the Cell team did need someone else to really bind it together, and this will bring that to them.
For sure. Minato, your thoughts?
I thoughts about Physical Cell.
Yeah. Thoughts about him being chosen as the EZA. Are you disappointed with that, or would you have rather it have been something else?
Okay, yeah, I was confused out there. I was like, I already gave my thoughts to him. I was like, huh?
Yeah, come on, bro, pay attention.
I was paying attention. I thought we were still okay, whatever. Anyways, I think that's fine. That he's easy pick, right? He was one of the options. I think they could have done him, the physical androids, or the Gohan and Cell. I think he was probably the most likely just because he's the oldest without an easy between those ones, right? But I think it's fine. The thing I'm disappointed about is that they're waiting until the 20th. That's like, oh, why?
10
No,
days.
Is it 20th or 24th? Yeah, 24th. That's 10 days away, bro.
10 days
It's
to link level them.
Yeah,
There's-
that's very weird.
There's nothing. There's this whole week and a half that's just empty. Besides, like, Baton Battle.
Isn't one of the new Super Battle Road stages coming
Yeah,
out?
it's
in,
all
like,
coming
a
out on
few
the same
days,
day.
yeah.
On the same
10
day,
days from now.
right? So
Yeah,
it's
'cause
like,
isn't there, oh wait, is it?
Is it
thought
just
they
a-
were
Yeah.
bringing out
No.
multiple ones? Oh.
no,
Well,
just
they've already
one.
put out the 2 of them, and they added that final 3rd stage of SBR
Oof.
onto the same date.
It's like, what? Oh, why is it such a dry week? It doesn't make sense. Why didn't they space this content like they usually do? But I don't know. Maybe we're getting like some sort of mini celebration for something. I couldn't tell you, but it could just be a dead whole week and a half, right? So buckle in, gamers. Get your link level 10s. Try your 200% leader skill units, right? Because it's gonna be a long time.
They're not going to be out even before the next podcast goes up.
Right.
Yeah, right.
What it probably could be is they probably had a bigger celebration plan for the movie, and since this is kind of like a quick fill-in, they maybe just didn't have content and they're just really spacing it out to fill the content. I think that could possibly be it. I'm kind of curious though what you guys think about, like, during the celebration, is there any chance that anything else would EZA, like free-to-play EZAs or any banner units, or is this all we're gonna get?
I think this is all.
I think
we're
that's
gonna
it.
Yeah,
They could always add something, right? But it feels like that's pretty much the general celebration we're gonna get.
Because I was
They
kind of
wouldn't
hoping
have
for
given
like
us
the
a
Cell
whole dead week.
Juniors or like something else to EZA. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't think they would have given us so much
16 and
time.
The AGL Cell Juniors would have been perfect because they both are terrible.
Yep. Or yeah, like Int 16 that was quote unquote supposed to go with that AGL Gohan, but is terrible.
We don't talk about him.
We don't. Yeah. He's like Bruno. We don't talk about 16. Yeah,
I
exactly.
put up a 200% showcase video for him today.
Did you? Nice.
He
I'll have to check
sucks.
that one out. So this is kind of a weird open-ended question, but do you guys think that this cell could be the best summonable LR EZA? What are the odds that they make him the best? I mean, I'll just give my thoughts really quick. I think based on his link set and who he partners with, he definitely has a shot. But it's so open-ended, it's really hard to say. Ningen, what are your hopes? Do you think this guy is going to be the best LR? What are the chances?
I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's probably not going to be the best, because we have seen this pattern of they seem to be very much afraid of what they did with STR Broly, and so every LR EZA that's come out after that has been nowhere near as impactful. So it's hard to say, because like we were saying before about rating units against each other,
Right.
because even if he's not the best EZA LR, as long as he's good enough, then he's probably going to be the one you're going to use the most, just because of how good he's going to be on the AGL Cell team.
Yep.
Because if you look at units like, Bardock, I would say is kind of like middle of the pack, and then even the lower ones, like we start getting into like Majin Vegeta, Int Gohan, even Physical Trunks. Like they're not the worst units in the world, but like, do you actually ever run them anymore? Like on your teams? Like are they the kind of units you want on like main rotation on the teams that you're running nowadays? Whereas this Cell absolutely has a home on the Cell team. So as long as he's good, he's probably going to be much more impactful than some of those other LR EZAs, even if you would technically say they were slightly better. Because at the end of the day, like STR Broly, you can't take him into the red zone. So Cell could potentially be better than him, depending on how he's going to be able to be used. So
I think, like you said, the red zone did change a lot, and I think that the actual 200% leaders post 7th anniversary meta really phased out a lot of these yellow coin LREZAs, especially since a lot of them were not necessarily like wonky, but they could have been designed way better, right? You could even say mid for some of them, to be fair, right? But yeah, in terms of him being the best one, since he's like the first yellow coin LR EZA that's going to be brought out post 7th anniversary, I think it is like likely, if you want to say he could be the best based on his link set, but you never know. He could have been designed back in like 2021 May or something, and they're bringing him out now, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I think the big thing with the physical cell, like when I look at like Majin Vegeta, right? His big flaw, well, one, he's got like the Bulma requirement, which is terrible, but the team you want to run him on, the leader shares the same name with him, which is a huge hindrance. But with physical cell, he's actually a great link partner for his leader. And I think I really agree with what Ningen's saying. Whether this unit's kit on paper is better or worse, like he's probably going to get used more, which gives him value, and he's got a 200% team. So I really like the idea of this cell possibly being one of the better LR EZAs for sure. Joker, do you have any thoughts on this?
Nah, nothing that's not already been said before. I just think that, all the EZAs, the yellow coin EZAs that we wanted to be good, have been meh. So maybe drop your expectations down a couple notches, because no one expected Broly to be that good.
Right.
And then everyone expected the next LRs to be that good, and none of them were. So if they continue that trend, then the cell will be good, but not great. So
here's a good analogy for you. I think that the STR LR Broly is to LR EZAs what Tech Ultimate Gohan is to units with guard. basically just killed it for any unit going forward with those mechanics. I mean, am I wrong?
No, I think that the reason why Broly was so good is because they had to redesign his whole kit, basically, except for it's also the additional super attack. Like, additional super attacks are just so busted, right? This guaranteed additional super attacks. That's why this new LR is so good, because it's basically like a guaranteed additional super attack. Same with the year 7s, right? That's like a top 3 mechanic in the game. Absurd, right?
Right.
But you're joking, right? I think that was my bad, but yeah, dude, I don't know. I just they don't. It's almost like they don't compensate for like the fact that these guys don't get stat boost or something, right? It's very very odd, or it's like maybe, I couldn't tell you honestly. Just weird, right? Like some of them are good, right? Like Goten and Trunks were pretty good.
Yeah, I think part of it too is just that, like you said, they're not compensating for the stat boost or not getting stat boost. And since Broly had just such a flat passive, just giving him the percentages made him way more improved upon these other units, maybe that had percentages and then they just tweaked the numbers a little bit. Or into Gohan, just the travesty of not even giving him more attack. That was just like the worst. So yeah, just not happy with a lot of these. I am hopeful for the cell though. I've got mine full level 10 links ready to go. Mine's at 79%. I might actually be tempted to go in on the EZA banner. Can we assume that there's going to be an EZA banner? I guess they haven't confirmed that, have they?
They have.
Yeah, they will.
Okay. Yeah, because the rates on those EZA banners are pretty good to like get the unit you want. So I might jump in and try to sneak a rainbow out of them, but we'll see. If his kit isn't great, I won't go in because 79% is definitely good enough. But yeah. So we are basically at the end, and I don't think we're going to do Twitter questions today, but does anybody else just want to say anything else about what's coming up? Any other thoughts that we want to add today before we wrap up?
Dokkan just continue extending its life cycle by doing new and interesting things. It means this game is going to live forever.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Just a reminder of why Dokkan is better than Legends, right?
Ooh,
take that, James DePinto.
Who's that nerd?
That's being real, Legends is about to get its anniversary in 2 weeks, and Dokkan's gonna be dead. Dokkan's gonna drop like Dokkan Fest, like I don't know, that's something, nothing crazy, right? But yeah, that James D. Pinto guy, we'll show him either way.
Yeah,
we can't wait to watch Twitter and it just explodes with PvP is unplayable now because XX anniversary, and I didn't pull them, and then it's going to be just that PvP sucks. I've seen a lot of Legends hate right now.
They're going to make all the wrong changes, but that's for Legends podcast, which is tomorrow, actually.
Nice. Exactly. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for our show today. This has been episode 82 of the Dokkan Battle podcast. I would like to thank our guests today for joining us. We got Ice Cold Joker, Mas Ningen, Minato. Thanks to Vilify for running the show behind the scenes and having, we'll send those mobs out to your house, Vilify, from doing that single summon, and we'll get you. So my name is Joe Wags. It has been an absolute honor hosting for y'all today. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll catch y'all on the next one. See ya.
Happy birthday, Vilify.